This problem has to do with a company which has 1,825 employees. The employees are classified as professional, skilled, or elementary. The table shows us the number of employees in each classification. The number of employees who are classified as professional is 740 plus the 380. If you're skilled, there's 275 plus 90, and elementary is 260 plus 80. Also, the table tells us the two areas, A and B, where the employees live. There are 740 professionals, 275 skilled, and 260 elementary workers that live in area A. And there are 380 professionals, 90 skilled, and 80 elementary that work in area B. If we add all these numbers together, then we will get 1,825, which is the overall number of employees in the company. Now, an employee that is chosen at random, find the probability that this employee is skilled. The thing to watch out over here is the fact that that there is a word called probability. So when we're looking for the skilled workers, which would be in here and in here, it's not just that number added together. We need to divide it over the overall number of employees in the company, which is 275 plus 90 over 1825, and that adds up to 365 over 1825. And you will get a mark if you leave it like this, but you may want to simplify it further, and you will have 1/5, so you can have a mark for that, or you may also write it as a decimal, and that will also give you a mark. When you look at question B, we're looking for an employee that lives in area B and is not a professional, and we still want the probability. The cells that we're going to look at is the one with the 90 here and the 80 here. Those two skilled and elementary workers live in area B. And so 90 plus 80 over 1825 will be 170 over 1825. That gives you a mark. If you continue to simplify that, it will give you a number with quite a number of decimals, which you'll have to round up. And for the next set of dot problems, we're going to need to use that Venn diagram. In this situation, you really have to be organized. Let's start with that first dot problem, which is 65% of professional employees in both area A and area B work from home. So the professional that we were looking at here, 740 and 380, 65 of them will work from home. Let's calculate each one individually. That is 0.65 multiplied by 740, and that will give me 481 employees working from home. And they are professional. And they are in area A. Next, we'll have 0.65, and we'll multiply that by 380, and that will be 247. And these are people working from home. They are professional, but they live in area B. Next, we'll look at the 40% of skilled work employees in both area and B that work from home. And the calculations have been done in blue. And in green, I've got 5% of elementary employees in both area A and B work from home. So we've got 5% we're calculating from each set. Now that I've calculated it, I'm just going to put them inside those cells, the numbers relating to each cell. So we had 481 here, 247, 110, 36, 13, and 4. Now we need to have a look at our Venn diagram. Now we're told that set F are professional employees. And we're told that set H is an employee that works from home. And finally, this set R is an employee that works in area A. So let's have a look at the data. We've got a professional here at home, in area 1 and at home. Home, area 1, and professional. So this number 481 will be represented in here. Okay, what does 247 represent? That represents a professional that works at home but is not in area A. He is in area B, and that's 247, which is what we had over here, 247. The set F here represents all the professional employees, and that was 740 added to 380, and that resulted in a number of 1,120. This allows us to find out this area over here, which is done by subtracting these three numbers from 1,120. This gives us 259, and I'll put this in here. One last segment that we need to find, and that is this segment over here in blue. I need you to see that this whole H set actually consists of all the people that work at home. All the people. That means 481, 110, 13, 247, 336, and 4. So set H is equal to 891 employees. So we'll write down 891 in here. Now, to find out what the blue section is, we need to just take away the 123, 481, and 247 from 891. And if you do the math, it will be 40. To complete this Venn diagram, we've got one more thing to do. We know what the set H, what set R, and what set F is, but what about outside these sets? What is the value there? Because none of these represents the area B. So we need to add up every single number in those sets, which should add up to 1,695 employees. Now, altogether, the company had, as we were told, 1,825 employees. In that case, we need to take away that number from 1,825 employees, and we'll get 130 employees outside the sets. So we can insert that number in here. The final questions want you to do the probability of an intersection, a union, and also a conditional probability. So this type of intersection should be learned off by heart. One of the things that you'll probably want to note is that if we've got an A complement with intersection of B, it's the B that has the crescent. So if I want to look at P intersection R dash intersection F, where is the crescent going to be? The crescent is going to be in set F, which will encompass all this. So that our question D will be 247 plus 133 over the whole employees number, which is 1825. And that gives me an answer of 380 over 1825. I can straight away see that I can divide this all by 5, so that'll give me 76 over 365, and it's always nicer to simplify them. You don't have to put it into decimal. If you can if you want to, but then you'll have to round it up. And remember that this is the probability, so we should say the probability of R complement intersection F is 76 over 365. For this E question, make sure that you're reading it correctly. The H union R is firstly united, and then we look at the complement of it. So HUR would look like this, and the complement of it would be everything else, which is in white. So we have 130 and 133. Add them together and divided by the number of employees in the company. And so 263 over 1825 is our answer. To do the conditional probability, you need to know the conditional probability rule. This rule is really easy to remember. Just make sure you put in the denominator the probability of H, that. And in the numerator, we'll put the probability of F and H. Now that means, and when we say and, we mean the probability of F intersection H over the probability of H. From our Venn diagram, we note that the intersection of H and F will be in here and in here. So we can write 247, add it to 481, divided by 1825, because we're doing probability, and then we will divide this once again by the probability of H, which is 40 plus 123 plus 247 plus 481, and we need to divide that also by the whole probability, which is 1825. Now you note that because we've got 1825, that will cancel out with that. So we only have 247 and 481, which will be 728. And divided by everything, 40, 123, 247 and 481, and that all adds up to 891, and that's our answer. And you get 2 points for this because you also needed the rule for conditional probability up here.